Level 72, Mheg, the Faerie Kingdom. Thancred is trying to think his way out of the present predicament. As it stands, we cannot hope to find the way to Urianger. For that, we must convince the pixies to lift the spell. What I could make of the voices, the creatures want to play with us. If that is the case, they should permit us to find their village, Lida Laurent. Come, I have a sneaking suspicion this path will lead us directly into their midst. Oh, and I should mention that Minfilia has been informed of our situation, of the different worlds and our mission. You may consider her an ally. Okay. Going this way. Okay. Oh. Flower basket. After all the spindly tree enemies, it's nice to see one on the chunkier side. 3 people come in all sizes. Thancred. Just the brightness of... Well, here we are, yet the pixies are nowhere to be seen. Knowing them, their games have already begun, in which case... Silly, there is a variety of plant native to these parts with a distinctive furrowed tip. Looking grass is its name, so called because it can be used to spy pixies, believe it or not. I'll explain how I know all of this later, but first I need you to help me find some. If a voice calls to you, under no circumstances should you respond. You will only subject yourself to further mischief. Looking grass. Search the scrub, but find nothing resembling looking grass. Suddenly a voice rings out. Hee hee hee, greetings mortal, what is your name? Say nothing. Oh, you don't have a name. How very, very sad. I could have had so much fun with it. Hee hee hee. Told not to answer. We can trust Thancred. Right? He only turned on us that one time, but he was possessed. Doesn't count. Search the scrub, but find nothing resembling looking grass. Suddenly a voice rings out. What is it that you seek, child? Perhaps I can help you find it. Such a rude child, and too clever by half. I shall seek my fun elsewhere. The area they showed in the trailer for graphical. All the purple flowers. Searching the scrub, you find what appears to be looking grass. Suddenly a voice rings out. Ooh, a visitor. Where are you from, pray tell? Perhaps this one's hard of hearing. Ahem, what brings you here? Ah, stone deaf, how boring. Still, picking plants at our village is as good as indulging in our hospitality, and who are we to turn you away? Hee hee, stay a while, stay forever. Dun dun dun! Your body begins to feel heavy. I'm running in slow motion. Away. Heavy for 40-something seconds. I take it you met with some trouble. Apologies for subjecting you to that. Can I assume from your presence that you managed to find us some looking grass? Yes, this is the stuff. Thus armed, we should be able to see through the pixies' veil of invisibility, and seeing them is the first step to dealing with them. Come, let's gather everyone and put Urianger's little trick to good use. Gonna smoke it. See the fairies, man.
Farasitha, Krakleath.
Oh, we are found! How did this mortal know our trick?
Bugging out. I think it's the screen's too bright. It's changing the color on my green screen.
Wait! I recognize their souls. These two have been here before.
Look, look, twins! How adorable!
Oh!
Play with us!
We have neither the time nor inclination to play. We have come to see Urianger.
Oh yes, Urianger, the peculiar one.
Oh, they do know him.
In return for a place in Mheg, he agreed to a riddle contest with us for 7 days and 7 nights without any sleep.
You the one telling the riddles?
Oh, that was so much fun! We must do it again!
I'm sure he'd be delighted. Now, if you'd be so kind as to lift your spell.
Shall we?
Should we?
Would we?
What now?
I don't know, but this is their home, so we must indulge them.
Right, we've made up our minds. We will lift our spell on one condition: that you first lend us a helping hand, or 2, or 3.
Oh, is it this expansion's Moogles?
Once you've helped solve all of our troubles, we'll let you see Urianger, Pixie's honor.
Well, there you have it. Pixie chores. I suggest we split up.
Oh, the Moogles and the Oranir, they all kind of just up and do first. Boon's request. We have to do all of these? Okay. Ooh, look at me, look at me. I have a task for you. Edoran is our beloved village, and we want it to always look lovely, and it can't look lovely without flowers blooming, and no flowers bloom lovelier than Everblooms. So here are some Everbloom seeds. Take them and sow them here, there, and everywhere around the village. Simple as a dimple, yes? Yes? I can't wait for the flowers to bloom. Perhaps I'll make pretty curtains out of them. Get in already, didn't we? I don't understand why mortals like to shut themselves up inside their stuffy houses. It's so much nicer being outside and under the sun, just as the flowers and the leaf men. Sure it would be. That was a waste of time. I think we're in the... It was glowing last time. Talk to it. I'll get it. The hell is that thing? Helping us grow flowers, are you? They'll make this house look much lovelier. Be a city of mortals here, a great big bustling place called Vovert, or Bovert, or some such, but the Sin Eaters came and everyone disappeared. Since then we pixies have been living here, and we've been giving the old houses our touch. Lovely, don't you think? Okay. Oh, it's up at the top of the thing. Everywhere for it. At least it was. You're done sowing the seeds? Thank you. This shall help Lidalon live up to its name, which means flower house, in case you're fair. Like, wait. We weren't always here, you know. We used to live deep in a lush forest. It was beautiful beyond compare, but almost all of it was swallowed up by the light. For a while we roamed, but eventually found a place that men had abandoned. Together with our fellow Fae folk, we decided to make it our new home. Land of everlasting spring. This is our home, and it could be yours too, forever and ever and ever. Queen's request. The screen's just too bright, so the extra light's throwing my color grading off. Enough. All like washed out. We're getting direct capture from the games. Washed out now. Ulsigun's plea. Ulsigun thirsts for your kindness. Thirsty. Mortal, mortal, hear my plea. Our precious children are thirsty, and I need you to bring them water. For our children, you ask? Why, they're the leaf men you see standing about our village. Adorable, aren't they? Helping myself. Color adjust. Now you'll need to go to Long Mirror Lake to draw the water. Once you have it, see that our children have good drenching. Oh, but be warned, the Fauth make their home in the lake. They tend to play rough, so have care. Actually, check my messages in a while. We should probably look. Die. Kill you. Pranksters. As long as they don't make us do as many as the four near ones weren't. Like, oh. Given water to our children, thank you ever much. They're all very dear to us. They wandered into Mheg as stray mortals, but we grew attached to them and decided to take them in. You and yours would have been our children too, but the enchantment didn't catch as well as we'd hoped. Never too late, of course. Guns, please. Is the law. Is the law's errand, or is probably I. These I hungers for your assistance. I'm so hungry I may faint. Fruit, a little fruit will set me aright. You go and fetch some for me? Just outside the village you'll find a hillock. 2 great bell trees grow there. If you give them a shake, they should render up their sweet, succulent burden. That tree. Once again, my great nemesis. I think he's at level 16. I have to check that real quick. Yeah, 16. Just fed him not too long ago. Not getting much in the way. It was like before we started your read. I haven't been doing like hunts yet. Gotta get those Centurio seals. I'll start doing so hungry. Did you get the fruit? Got one per tree. Oh, thank you ever so much. You saved me. Yes, saved me from my boredom. You should have seen the look on your face when the bugs came down. Tee-hee-hee. Ah, you've done me a great service, mortal. If there's one thing we pixies are serious about, it's having fun. Dull and painful things. Hate them. Sin eaters are dull and painful both, so we hate them especially. You mortals try to fight those monstrosities, but there's no fun in that. Best to avoid them altogether, we say. These Ayah's errand What are they gonna... Level 72, Unto the Truth. Thancred looks just like you feel. How goes it? So a mix of menial tasks and pranks. Yes, that pretty much sums up my own experience. They have no troubles worthy of the name. How long are we supposed to keep at this? They're clearly playing with us. Indeed, whenever I inquire how much more there is to be done, the answer is ever the same. A little. I doubt they have any intention of releasing us in the near future. Brianjay once told me a story about the pixies. They're born from the souls of those who died as children, or so it's believed. Though they don't have memories of their previous lives, the desire to have fun remains imprinted on their souls. Sad. And so they live only to play, keeping hapless mortals for their pleasure for years on end, sometimes even until death. In the past, when I sought to identify the true nature of ghosts, I came upon literature examining a similar subject. Soul is likened to a core that resides in the ether, and its presence is what differentiates us from such beings as sprites and arcane entities. Upon death, said core ordinarily dissipates alongside the ether that composed the flesh. However, it may be held together and bound to the corporeal realm, either by will of its owner or by means of certain arts. In time, the soul may regather ether unto itself to assume another form or find newly emerged life in which to abide. The pixies may be one such instance. Ghosts are merely souls without bodies. What does that make us? I think you've become that which you fear most, brother dearest. However, the pixies may have come into being. If we leave them to judge when they are satisfied, they will never be satisfied. Hey, we must negotiate new terms with the creatures, but where to begin? It seems to me we would need at least one among them to sympathize with us. In the course of your chores, did any of you encounter a pixie who seemed even faintly amenable to reason? I got the one with me. I've been saying that the whole time. Faerie! What? You knew a pixie from before? Not only are you acquainted, but you've entered into a pact? Might have mentioned this sooner. At any rate, I dare to hope this will offer us a way out. Without further delay, then, summon this Faerie, if you please. With the chat mode in say, use your keyboard or the software keyboard to enter Faerie to summon your pixie friend at the designated location. Oh, I'm in party chat. Well, that would help. To do that. Voice rings out in your mind. So, my sapling has finally remembered about her lovely branch. But with such a half-hearted call, she may as well lop me off and cast me aside. I have no sapling. Ew. Is that your idea of a fervent call? A sodden log could do it with more fire. Lord, I might have to use my keyboard. Like, it's like off to the side here, so I can only really get to it with one hand. Man, having to do this from a controller would be... My keyboard doesn't work well. Part of the reason I play with it. Also for long play. I explained this before, I don't sit at a desk. That didn't work. Oh, I forgot the exclamation. I'll just copy and paste it. Sit at a desk, chair, and TVs in front of me. From here.
You're late. I've been waiting for you to summon me ever since you came here. Waiting and waiting and waiting.
Could have just like popped up.
But my sapling didn't so much as utter my name. Such a heartless thing she is. Cold and cruel and heartless.
Another self-important little brat. Just what we need.
Reminds me of my childhood. All right, I'm sorry. It was a joke. Honestly, just a joke.
But just now you called for me so earnestly, so fervently. I couldn't possibly stay angry at you. Very well. As your lovely branch, I will lend you my strength.
Well. If it isn't Faerie, the mold field.
That bloom.
It's been too long.
Not long enough for you to think of any new games, though, apparently. If I were you, I'd be bored of myself. Now let me make something clear. That mortal is mine. No matter what you do, she will never be yours. Never, never, ever!
Oh, not even a bit. But what about the others? Surely we can keep them.
No, you can't keep them either. They're for my amusement and mine alone. And if you lay so much as a finger on my sapling, I'll scatter the contents of her bag all over your precious village. There'll be cold, hard metal, furry, festering food, stinky, sweaty small clothes, and And all manner of other terrible, unmentionable things. How would you like that, hmm? All right. But will you not at least let us play with the twins? Just while the others go and see Urianger?
Aye, that's all we ask. And we promise we'll play nicely.
It seems we won't be joining you.
Quick to give in.
Aye! We'll reveal the hidden Fernic to you at once.
So this is the true Mheg.
How are you feeling?
Okay.
Better.
The colors,
I think I remember the way now.
Apologies for the delay. Shall we go and see Urianger?
But we're gonna have to have a conversation
Your lovely
with.
branch is useful, yes? So whenever you're in trouble, you must remember to make use of me!
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to Urian, aren't we? That's gonna be fun. For Alphinaud and Alizé's sake, let us be quick. Be ashamed to return only to find that they had been made to play one game too many. Now the place we seek is the abandoned manor of a nobleman and scholar, the Bookman's Shelves, it's called, after the fellow's vast collection of tomes. An agreeable habitat for our friend, I'm sure you'll agree. If we follow the path north, we should find the place. Come along. Huh? Or colorful. They get better about placing the ether right every part of my big issue. Heavens, the right place. Heaven's Word is better than story-wise. I mean, I stand by what I said about Storm, but it's more focused. Make it better. I think parts of it are better. I think overall Heaven's Word is a better story. And here we are at long last. I give you Urianger's humble abode. Come, let's see if he's home.
Urianger, are you in?
Unto a world weary of heroes, a hero wends her way. The Exarch did send word that thou wouldst seek me out, but ne'er did I imagine thou wouldst arrive so soon. Full glad am I to see thee once more, my friend, and none the worse for thy travails.
Run along, Minfilia. We will meet you outside.
But
Another one for you to imbue, if you'd be so kind.
I take it thou hast met with our other comrades already?
First off.
That Master Alphino and Mistress Alize now travel in thy company is of great comfort to me. As for the rest, it beginneth in earnest. The hunting of the Light Wardens, and perforce the war with Yulmore. Hark thee then to my words, and through them behold the vision that I did glimpse, that of the 8th Umbral Calamity. As I drifted hither to the first, traversing the boundary twixt reality and potentiality, I did bear witness to events yet to come. There I saw the combined forces of Eorzea and the Far East offering fierce resistance to the legions of Garlemald. So fierce, in fact, that they did begin to push the enemy back. Ilm by painful ilm at first, then Yalm by Yalm, and Malm by Malm in time.
That's kind of what we are. Right?
Yet the joy they felt was short-lived, for in so doing they did force the Empire's hand. Faced with defeat, the Garleans turned to a weapon most vile. Black Rose. Its potency defied all reckoning. Once released, the gas took on a life of its own, wreaking untold carnage not only in Eorzea, but in the provinces of the Empire besides. From fighters upon the front lines to babes in their beds, none were spared. And as the casualties became too numerous to count, so did the fabric of civilization begin to unravel. Nor did the land itself escape unscathed, for spreading from the site of its release, Black Rose brought death to the very soil. To survive amidst the chaos and upheaval, men came to live by the sword, the rule of law giving way, inevitably, to the rule of might. Thus was the spark struck and the fire kindled, and swiftly did it spread as a blaze in a field of straw to engulf every corner of the world.
That's
Nations worthy of the name did then cease to exist. And those souls brave and true who might have risen to restore order were no more. For the weapon spared not one, not even thee.
Faerie.
An endless age of war, begotten by the blight of Black Rose. Such is the legacy of the 8th umbral calamity which I did behold. No matter the cost, we must forestall this tragedy. To that end, I have labored during my sojourn in this world, discovering in so doing the answer to a pressing mystery. That of Black Rose's inexplicable potency.
Hold on.
Come. Dost thou recognize yonder chart?
Yeah, I did, Eureka. Elements. Something to do with magic.
Indeed. 'Tis a rendering of the elemental wheel, such as one might find in classrooms across the source. As the chart maketh plain, our world is composed of 6 elements, in addition to which there exist 2 poles in fundamental opposition. Astral, the active; umbral, the passive. As a reflection of the source, the first naturally compriseth the selfsame forces. Yet, curiously, there is a notable divergence in their nomenclature. To be specific, the denizens of this world employ not the terms astral and umbral. Thus was I moved to inquire what names said forces had been assigned. A simple question which yielded a most unexpected answer. Upon demanding the name of the pole aligned with activity and growth, I was told that as life's myriad colors combine to produce black, the people of the first had called it darkness. At this, did my mind begin to race. Yet 'twas only when I asked what name had been given to the pole aligned with passivity that mine eyes were opened to the truth. Peace and tranquility being as purest white, unmarred by color, I was told it had been given the name of light.
That's umbral light and astral darkness, yes? I'm no etherologist, but it strikes me that the nomenclature of the first is rooted in the generation of the 2 forces, while our own appears to focus on their effects. Which makes one wonder, have we had it backwards all this time?
"'Tis indeed a compelling question, and one which beareth closer examination. Yet what knowledge we already possess sufficeth to explain the chain of events. The phenomenon of etheric thinning observed in the source is the consequence of light, the power of stasis, flowing in from the first to stifle the movement of ether within the land. And according to Master Alphino, Black Rose slayeth by halting the circulation of ether within living beings. Should such a weapon be unleashed even as the first were rejoined, replete as it is with light,
we would have a disaster of untold proportions on our hands. A calamity. Well, at least we have a better grasp of what we're facing. Our objective, however, remains unchanged. We are to eliminate the Light Warden of Mheg. Speaking of which, were you able to ascertain its whereabouts?
Aye. 'Tis all but certainly ensconced within Leargear, the castle which standeth in the midst of the lake. To enter said stronghold, we must needs turn to the pixies for aid. Fortunately, I have become quite adept at courting their cooperation.
Have one week.
Henceforth shall I accompany you, and do all in my power to ensure that my vision doth not come to pass.
"72, unto the truth. Alright. Level 72, courting cooperation. Urianger fixes you with his gaze. My friend, ere I speak of the task at hand, there is a question I would pose to thee. What thinkest thou of mine appearance? Take up astrology? Did you lose weight? I didn't recognize you at first. You lose weight? Did I lose weight? If 'tis of flesh thou speakest, I cannot rightly say. However, in taking up astrology, I may have shed with some yalms of fabric. My present attire better suiteth the art. For the night be lost. Behind the shroud of blinding light, doubt not that the stars still shine still. I have chosen to avail myself of their guidance, that I might navigate the sea of uncertainty that stretcheth before us. But enough of myself, let us now speak of our task. As I did mention, if we are to enter Leargear, we must needs gain the pixies' cooperation. It's a simple matter of presenting unto them a suitable gift. I shall procure a selection of viands that shall please their palates. Thancred, pray assist me in this endeavor. Meanwhile, Zilly, I bid thee obtain that which will please their eyes. In these parts there abideth a vilekin known for its beauteous wings, the hawker. I shall lend thee a receptacle within which thou mayest capture a weakened specimen. Gotta go kill something? I'm down for... Always down for the murder. Okay. Catch it. Means I'm probably gonna have to get rid of all my chicken. Probably gonna accidentally kill it. Okay. Current pick. Bug, Urianger, I caught a bug. Thou art returned. Wert thou able to capture a hawker? Truly magnificent set of wings. I shall treat them at once to make fast their vibrant colors. Thancred too should return anon, upon which I shall ready all the items for presentation. Pray take thine ease meanwhile.
"'Tis done. The pixies shall be well pleased with these gifts." Ah, lest I forget. White auracite, newly forged for thy use.
Come across that.
Our mission being to thwart a rejoining, we will most assuredly cross paths with those who crave the contrary. Our eternal enemies. Thus did I choose to abide in this ether-rich land, the better to fashion a trap for the Ascian's essence.
May I come in now?
You may indeed, assuming you've finished.
I did as you asked.
That's my girl, thank you. I should probably explain. Though my body remained behind in the source, its limitations saw fit to accompany me. Which is to say, I cannot manipulate ether. I took up the gunblade for its defensive advantages, but on account of my little impairment, I cannot imbue the ammunition myself. Luckily for me, Minfilia has quite a talent for it.
Minfilia, once we set forth, we are not like to return for some while. If thou wouldst choose tomes to take with thee, let it be now.
Grab something to read for the road.
Really? May I?
Of course, my dear. Yet have care thou dost not add overmuch to thy burden, lest I incur Thancred's ire. Hast thou spoken to her of thine encounter with the Minfilia of Eld?
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. As you know, I freed young Minfilia from captivity in Yulmore some 3 years past. Not long after, the two of us journeyed to the south of Armareng, to the edge of the Empty, where the flood was halted. 'Twas there that she awakened. The Minfilia of old. My Minfilia.
Echo. Our first Echo. Called, but we.
Tell me, what must I do to bring you back?
My dearest Thancred, as I am now, I am no different from an Ascian. This child is but a vessel. One of many I have used that I might spread word of her enduring blessing and preserve the flame of hope. In my name, each has died, never having lived her own life. I have taken enough from these children. I will take no more.
But what of your suffering? Your sacrifice? This isn't fair! I will not stand for it. I cannot! There must be something we can do. Tell me!
Should the day come when this child grows weary of fighting and wishes to cast it all aside, then shall I take up her burden. But should she wish instead to become the master of her own destiny, Then shall I bequeath to her my all. Imbued with the strength that I reserve for rebirth, she may come to wield my powers as her own.
And what of my wishes? What of Flamine's? What of all the people who love and care for you and want nothing more than to see you again?
It is not their decision to make. It is hers. This child's. This Minfilia's. You have ever watched over me, Thancred. Now I ask that you do the same for her. Protect her. Teach her. Stand by her as you stood by me. There is much and more she does not know. She needs a guide to show her the ways of the world, or she will never find her own path. When the time comes, you will find me here. Until that day.
Minfilia, wait!
What happened?
And then she was gone. Minfilia, the girl, claims to have no recollection of any of it. I have told her many things, where we came from, what we fight for, but of that day, I have not spoken.
Want this to...
With the coming of another possessed of the blessing of light, the first hath begun to rise up in defiance of its fate. The question remaineth, however, who shall take up the flame of hope which Minfilia hath borne for so long? Whether we will it or no, the choice must soon be made.
I'm sorry I took so long. It was so hard to choose. In the end, I settled on just the one.
Ooh, I see she's got like the 2 daggers.
That is well. Now, if all is in order, let us set forth for Lida Loran.
Weren't expecting you all back so soon. We had scarcely begun playing with the twins. That said, your gifts are truly wonderful, let me tell you. The milk and honey and biscuits won't last a day, and the wings are the loveliest we've ever seen. You've done us a great kindness, and it's fate custom to return the gesture. If you desire anything of us, you need but name it. Supporting cooperation.